Farmers' killings and displacement from their settlement, coupled with the fear of the unknown, will soon create or cause a serious food scarcity. The topic for discussion today is tackling food crisis in Nigeria.
There is no human being that doesn't eat. Even if I have not eaten this morning, I will eat immediately after I leave this place. A well-fed nation is a happy nation, and it's a peaceful nation. The moment you are hungry, the moment you don't have access to food, you are agitated. You are easily irritated.
Because a hungry man is an angry man.
Exactly. And it was even agriculture, from agriculture, that we were able to finance our economy in Nigeria. Because the major supplier, the major feeder of our budget at that time in the past was agriculture. One of the major causes of food crisis is lack of its availability. Go to your house, prepare a small place, plant tomato, plant pepper, and unfortunately we don't have, I'm sorry to say, we don't have a government that is leading by example. If, for example, a state government comes around, goes on there and says, look at my farm at my backyard. If one governor could do that, the entire state will follow. But we are not being led by examples. So we are
everything bye.
Exactly. Everything is just by hook and by crook. So that is one. Then number two, we also need to call on the government to also take their jobs seriously. They must show responsibility. Now, concerning the government perspective, I also believe that the government has a role to play, a big role to play. Even in terms of mechanized farming, they don't even need to go that far. That's far for us because agriculture is part of us. So it's not strange, it's not new to us. If we are talking about mechanized farming, we are even looking at the first world, the second world. But we have to accept it. We are still being called the third world, so to say. I want to believe that there are certain things that the government can do. The government can encourage by providing fertilizers for our local farmers, and they can do more. I could remember when General Olusegun Obasanjo, when he was head of state in the 70s, he introduced what we call Operation Feed the Nation, OFN. OFN was to make people go back to the farm, to return to the farm, so that we could feed the nation, that everyone could feed Nigeria. And it succeeded to some extent. But when you have, and that was military government, when you have a program, but there is no proper monitoring, you devote some amount to it, but you don't close monitor, then there will be a challenge. And then Shagari took over from Obasanjo. Shagari introduced the Green Revolution. Green Revolution started where it's also failed, it collapsed. I think it was the experience that Obasanjo had at that time that made him now go back to the farm. His farm he retired as a farmer. He's still a farmer today. And he's doing very well as a person. But unfortunately, he couldn't do what he's doing now. He couldn't do so well when he was head of state. And then you begin to ask questions. That why was it that when he was head of state and he introduced the Operation Feed the Nation, the program didn't succeed. And now he's succeeding as an individual farmer, using the same intelligence that he had at that time for him to introduce the program. So you begin to ask all manner of questions. And then you also begin to wonder the kind of personnel that we have that are implementing government programs. So government can come in again. Also, we are in a crisis situation. We are in a critical period now in terms of food. The food is not available, it's not already there. About 6 years ago, I was in Sokoto State. In Sokoto, then we had, I followed this UNICEF program for certain things. And then we were taken to IDP. And then we also were taken to one hospital. The hospital was taking care of children. You need to come and see malnourished children. You also need to come and see malnourished mothers. The mothers mothers need to be fed well first before they can feed their children. You see mothers, they look like sticks. I am telling you, All of us that went for the program that time, it was a 4-day program. All of us that went for the program that time, we only went as journalists to cover the program. I mean, to just see.
Of course, yeah.
We had to, when we were leaving for our hotel, you know, returning from the place, we had to go out. And then we had to discuss with ourselves, we must do something for these people. Individually, we taxed ourselves, we had to contribute. And then we give to those people to go and buy food for these people. It was that bad, it was terrible. So when people are not well fed,
and you're talking of 6 years ago.
6 years ago.
Imagine what we are seeing now, what's happening now.
It's more horrible now. It's at a very dangerous dimension now. So the government must come in, the government must be serious about it, and the government also must take the issue of these herders, farmers clashes seriously. It's a serious issue.
Bring an end to it.
Matter. Exactly. This must end. If you don't want to end Nigeria, you must end this one, because food crisis alone is enough to cause any big problem for the country.
For the country.
I think for now, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. You have started it all. So we'll take a break now and come back, enter session for question and answer. Vivid view. Say and do it. Okay.
My name is Favor, and my question is, what is the government doing in tackling food crisis in the country?
My name is Sarah. My question is, can government include gardening both in private and public school curriculum as a way of solving food crisis?
Welcome back. The question has already been asked by the audience. I direct the questions to our guest.
Thank you, moderator. I will take the question together because they are related. Tackling food crisis from the perspective of government programs, let's say. Now, there are many things that the government can do. One of such things is to involve even schools in gardening. I could remember when I was in primary school. There was gardening as one of our subjects in school. So after, we were made to plant, to cultivate ridges and heaps. And then that time we planted yam, we didn't plant cassava. No, we didn't plant cassava because we were young. We planted yam, we planted pineapple, we planted maize, we planted...
and few others, yeah.
Yes, others. Tomato, pepper, garden eggs. So we were made to plant all that. And we were even eating from what we planted. Because the teachers were buying from the school, buying from us, even as young as we were. So it shows you, it tells you, and that was the time, I could remember, that was the time we were taught that we have in Nigeria 3 different types of soil. We have sandy soil, loamy soil, and clayey soil, as we were taught then. Well, sandy soil is just sand soil, and then loamy soil is loam soil, and then clayey soil is clay soil. That you don't plant on clay soil, you don't plant on sand soil, but you plant on loam soil. And good enough for us in Nigeria, we have loam soil, which makes our land arable, for good plantation. So it was at that time in primary school that we were taught all that. Because we were planting, we were growing crops. It was as good as that. And I can also tell you that even in secondary school, there is a secondary school in Ikere-Ekiti called the Comprehensive High School. That school, that at a time when Obasanjo was the head of state, he visited the school. His government visited the school. Because the school would do everything. The school was not buying anything.
No.
Nothing. And then even in terms of wiring the school and all that, the school was into everything. So the school was feeding itself. And I also know Mayflower School here in Ikene, founded by the late Dr. Tai Solani. That school also feeds itself till tomorrow. The school is into agriculture, feeding itself, secondary school. So, and don't also forget.
They can do that. They can do
we can go to do that because Nigeria is hungry now, so we need food. We are hungry not just because the food is not there. The foodstuffs are not there. The little that are there are unaffordable. So if everybody has something to offer, then the food be cheap. Exactly, it will be cheaper. Then I don't need to go to you to say, give me food. Because I have my own, then you have your own, and then there will be surplus in the country. But now, the government seems to be lacking in that direction because government is not taking adequate interest in agriculture in Nigeria, in farming. Just as I said earlier, the government needs to come in by giving fertilizers to farmers, by encouraging farmers, by buying even directly from farmers. It's unfortunate that we have rice.
They try in fertilizer aspect of it, but they should improve.
They can do more. They can do more. There is no need, for example, there is no need for us in Nigeria to be importing rice. We have rice in Nigeria. Our farmers are there. They are producing. We have yam in Nigeria. The little we have, we are exporting. And then we are now, when everything is recycled, then they bring everything back, and then we begin to buy at a higher price. It's not encouraging at all. So the government needs to come in and encourage farmers so that we can have more food in Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Now, may we have your last advice?
Oh, my last advice. Thank you, moderator. My last advice is that we don't need to leave just the government to it. Every one of us is involved because everybody eats. When you eat, you don't call the government. When you eat for yourself. So when you eat, you develop yourself. So which means that what you need to eat, you need to also try to produce. We can produce what we eat. Just look for a small space in your environment, in your house, and plant something at your backyard. You'll be happy. As a matter of fact, the moment you are eating the crop, you'll be happy that this is the work of my hand. And then when you eat, you'll be satisfied. That's my word.
Thank you so much. Some years ago, as we noted earlier, we actually have garden in my house in Benin. And we leave some area we are tired, there's some area we leave it to plant. And I enjoy the bitter leaf. Exactly. And ogo, which you call spinach. Yeah. I enjoyed those two. Because all my food, I just go to the back plug and make my food fresh. Yeah. So it is really, really very important.
And you will be happy that is your work.
Yes, I did. I was not buying those ones. Exactly. I could buy other, but these two I have them, even tomatoes and pepper. So I think it's not much in large quantity because just for my
subsistence
family.
Subsistence farming. Yeah.
So it's not the one for commercial that I'm going to sell and all that. But at least it gave me a kind of sense of belonging and joy. So I think we should also do that now. Those of us who build houses now in our urban areas, cities, and tie everywhere, think now to leave some part for this, what we are saying now. Yeah. And then finally, let government please look into this issue of headers and farmers very critically and bring a lasting solution to it. Both of them are farmers, whether you are a header, you're growing cow, or the other one growing food crops, they are all farmers, and they need each other. For me, that's the way I look at it. So the farmers, the headers will not come and kill farmers because they protested that their cow is eating their crops. They borrow money from microfinance bank to make their farm, hoping to pay back during harvest. And then the cow will come and consume everything. And then you fight and kill them. You value cow that will be consumed by human being than human being himself. I mean, there's no sense in it. That's what we're seeing now. We should not value animals than life. We are the one to eat cow, not cow eating us. So we have to reason properly and do things well. If a farmer has a land that he has not didn't cultivate anything, and you bring your for example, cow is there, no problem with that. But entering the farm they have already cultivated with borrowed money is wickedness, as a matter of fact. So the federal government, please look into this and bring this lasting solution to this. Coupled with what we just mentioned, that all of us should have farms at home because we all eat, so that this food crisis will be solved once and for all. And I believe if we listen to what we have just said now, God will really help us to actualize this. Having said this, I want to thank you again, our guests, for your time with us, and also to thank the production crew and, of course, the executive producer for giving us the opportunity and the job well done, too. Of course, viewers at home and also audience here, I really appreciate your patience with us. Of course, I will not stop thanking our sponsors, GDS High Tech, Micro Investment Support Services Limited is a leasing company, a lab, that's Life Action Plus, Orange Insurance Brokers Limited, Orange Published Printing Company, and few others that have been very, very supportive, including Gozi Micro Insurance Company. Thank you for your support. And we believe that we ask more people or encourage more people to also support so that this program continue to be on air. We are speaking the mind of people, and we know that those who are watching it are listening to us, and we are putting what we have learned here into practice. I will round up this program by myself as a gospel artist, and I will take my video's title, By His Grace. So until I come your way next week, keep watching Vivid View. Same time, same program. Still stay safe. Bye. Vivid View. Say and do it.